Hello, I'd love for you to watch this video with me. This is Wonders of the Sea. I'm Miss Kathy from Samuel's Library in Front Royal, and welcome to our program today. The sea is massive, it's beautiful, it's wondrous, it's expansive. It is the biggest thing that we have on Earth. And so we're going to be discovering just a few of those wonderful things today during our program. By way of definition, the sea is also called the world ocean, or simply called the ocean, and it's that connected water, salty water, that is covering over 70% of the Earth's surface. And we have a huge ocean. And the ocean has been labeled with 4 different oceans. Over here, we have the Atlantic Ocean, from here down here. And it's over here near us, over here. And then there is the Pacific Ocean on what we call the west coast of our country. There is the Indian Ocean over here. The Arctic Ocean is what is on top of the world there. And they have recognized a 5th ocean now. It's called the Southern Ocean, or the Antarctic Ocean. And that is down on the bottom, where 3 of the oceans are converging and are down at the bottom of our Earth. So the ocean is so big, but it's also so deep. And we live in the Shenandoah Valley. Here we can see mountains. Some of you live on mountains, and you know mountains are high. And from those tops of the mountains, from those mountain views, we look down low and we see what we call valleys. Well, did you know that oceans have mountains and valleys on the ocean floor? In fact, the biggest mountain on Earth, Mount Everest, could fit in the ocean and still be covered by water. That's pretty amazing how very, very, very deep the ocean is. And we're going to talk next about the Mariana Trench, which is the lowest point on Earth. Let me share my screen with you. The Mariana Trench is in the Pacific Ocean. It is over here on this map. It is by the island of Guam, and also near these island countries of Japan and the Philippines and Indonesia. And if you look at the red dot over here, it's labeled Challenger Deep, and that is the deepest part of this Mariana Trench. The Mariana Trench is the deepest part of the ocean, and Challenger Deep is the deepest part of that trench. Here we have a picture of the Mariana Trench, but it looks to me like there might be a diver in the picture. And if that's the case, then he's pretty close to the surface, because the deeper that you go in the water, the more intense the water pressure is, and our bodies cannot live under such pressure. So that part of the Mariana Trench, Challenger Deep, is 35,853 feet below the surface of the Pacific Ocean. So that's not what we're looking at in this picture, but that is part of the trench that you see a picture of. But let's talk about Challenger Deep, this very, very deepest part of the trench. There is a diver named Victor Vescovo who explored that area in a submersible. And his almost 7-mile dive broke the record for the deepest dive ever. While he was there, he saw some familiar plants and animals, but he also saw some that were new. Now, others who had explored the area before him have had equipment failures because of that intense water pressure. So it was very, very special for him to be able to get all the way down to the bottom of that trench. Now let's talk about what the ocean does for us. From the National Oceanic and Atmospheric Administration website, in an article from April 9th, 2020, 7 things are listed in the graphic you see with their permission. First of all, the air we breathe. The ocean produces over 1/2 of the world's oxygen and absorbs 50 times more carbon dioxide than our atmosphere. Usually we think about trees doing that for us, and they really are important, but the ocean does that even more so for us. The next thing is climate regulation. That means keeping the temperatures at good levels throughout the Earth. Covering 70% of the Earth's surface, the ocean transports heat from the equator to the poles, regulating our climate and weather patterns. You know that it is hottest around the equator. The ocean takes that heat and spreads it around. It's like if you're heating up some food in the microwave and you stir it to make the warmth go all around and not just in one place. The next item is transportation. 76% of all U.S. trade involves some form of marine transportation. Marine means on the water. So many of the things that we are buying from or selling to other countries are being transported on a ship going through the ocean. Next is recreation. From fishing to boating to kayaking and whale watching, the ocean provides us with many unique activities. Many of you visit the ocean when you go on vacation. The Outer Banks, Virginia Beach, Rehoboth, and there are many fun things to do while you are there. You can go swimming, boating, go on an ocean tour, or go whale watching. Next is economic benefits. This is about money. The U.S. ocean economy produces $282 billion in goods and services, and ocean-dependent businesses employ almost 3 million people. While you are vacationing at the beach, you will pay to stay in a hotel or to rent a house while you're there. You'll buy food, you'll buy souvenirs, and pay for all the activities that you do. And all the things that you do give many people jobs. And not only does that happen in the United States, but that's happening around the world. So the ocean is very important to the world economy. Next is food. The ocean provides more than just seafood like clams, shrimp, lobster, and fish. Ingredients from the sea are found in surprising foods such as peanut butter and soy milk. And then medicine. Many medicinal products come from the ocean, including ingredients that help fight cancer, arthritis, Alzheimer's disease, and heart disease. So exploring the ocean is very beneficial to us. The ocean is good for us for those reasons, and because being there can be relaxing and stress relieving. We've already heard and seen the ocean in a previous video, and watching that made me want to visit the ocean and relax. How about you? So the ocean is wondrous because it is so big and helpful to us. Now, let's go underwater and see what we can see. I don't know about you, but what my favorite thing is about watching an underwater scene like that is the variety of colors in the underwater plants and animals. It's really neat. So let's look at some favorite undersea creatures. We have a dolphin here, and dolphins are so fun to watch, to listen to observe. We have a sea turtle and some beautiful fish. Here's a seahorse and a blue spotted stingray. Take a look at those blue spots. Isn't that neat? Here we have some jellyfish. Jellyfish live in oceans throughout the world. They come in many colors. Their bodies have long tentacles, which will sting their prey and paralyze them before they eat them. So don't swim with a jellyfish. Now the picture on the right is of something that I've never heard of before. So I was excited to learn something new as I prepared for this presentation today. These are Christmas tree worms. They live in the coral, and their colorful crowns come out to collect food and oxygen. Watch this video and you can read as you watch about Christmas tree worms. Wasn't that neat? Now, everyone loves sharks. Let's take a look. I kind of wondered why the fish weren't afraid of the sharks. If I were there, I'd be getting out of the way of them. Anyway, maybe they were full and not hungry. Anyway, next let's talk about blue whales. That's what we're looking at here. I have fun 5 facts about blue whales. Number 1, blue whales are the largest animals to ever live on the planet, reaching maximum lengths of 110 feet and weights of 330,000 pounds. Their incredible size is only possible because of their aquatic lifestyles and the buoyancy provided by seawater. That means only because they live in the sea are they able to be that big. They couldn't live on land. If they did, they would squish themselves because they are so big. How about that? So, but they're in the ocean holds them up, and they can swim around and do everything that they need to do. Another thing about that is that the females tend to be bigger than the males, and that is because they need to be extra big so they can provide for when they have babies. Next fun fact, blue whales can live for 80 to 90 years on average. That's kind of like about people, what people do. Number 3, blue whales are the loudest animals on the planet, capable of producing sounds that can be heard by other blue whales up to 1,000 miles away. Wow. Number 4, blue whales can eat up to 12,000 pounds of krill in a day. Krill are a little 2-inch shrimp lake creature. 12,000 pounds of that. That is huge. And number 5, blue whales swim 5 miles per hour on average, but if they need to, they can swim more than 20 miles per hour in short bursts. So there are many, many wonderful, wondrous creatures under the sea, and I hope that you get to explore some of those even more sometime at the library. But for right now, let's come back up to the surface, and we're going to talk about lighthouses for a moment. Now, a lighthouse is a tall building that has a light near the top. Lighthouses are built on the coast of an ocean or lake. The lighthouse protects ships from crashing into shore by sending the light out towards the sea. When sailors see a light, they know to avoid hitting the shore. The light usually turns in a circle so that ships see a flashing light. The light is usually covered by a Fresnel lens, and this lens enables the light to travel a far distance. That information is from kidsearch.com. Now, if you see the pictures, you'll see that lighthouses come in all different sizes and shapes, and each has a unique pattern and color. And this is so sailors could identify their location by which lighthouse they were looking at by its unique markings. Now, lighthouses are found all over the world, and they've been used for hundreds of years, but now most of them are automatic and don't need someone to take care of them all the time. Also, the use of GPS and navigation systems has overtaken the importance of lighthouses, but people still like to visit lighthouses and photograph them. The sea is a wonderful place, but there is a problem that is hurting the oceans and the seas around the world, and that is pollution. There are many different kinds of pollution, many different forms, and they hurt the quality of the water. They hurt the beauty of the ocean, and they destroy the lives of the sea creatures that live there. Remember when we talked about exploring the Mariana Trench and sitting there in the very deepest point of the planet, the first person to ever be there, diver Vescovo, also came across a plastic bag and some candy wrappers. And that just made me so sad when I heard that he was the first person to ever be there, and he gets to look at trash. That is just so wrong. Boys and girls, let's not be people like that are adding trash to the oceans if we can help it. So here are some things that you and your family can do to help the oceans, some things that you can do now as children, and then other things to think about when you're an adult. First of all, always throw your trash away. Litter is gross, no matter where it is, and it's bad for the environment wherever it is, on land or in the sea. So develop the good habit of throwing your trash away. Now, if you have a piece of gum and you're taking it out of the wrapper and there's not a wastebasket right there, just put the wrapper in your pocket until you do get to a trash basket where you can throw that away. So make it a good habit to never ever throw trash out on the ground. Second of all, try using less stuff. For example, get a reusable water bottle to use instead of using plastic water bottles all the time. You just have to wash it and then it's ready to go for another time. Fill it with water, and that really saves on pollution if you are reusing that. Another idea is if your family drinks pop, buy a 2-liter container and then pour your serving into a cup and drink from your cup, and that saves on the plastic that is used to give you your drink. Another thing that you can do is to recycle whenever you can. Plastics are especially hard on the environment because they don't break down, so please recycle them whenever you can. Now, sometimes when you buy a 6-pack or an 8-pack of pop or another beverage, it'll come in those little plastic rings that attach them all together. When you're finished with that package of your beverage, please cut those rings so that they are no longer those little tight circles anymore. Because what happens is if those end up in the ocean or even on land, there are birds and fish and turtles and other creatures that can crawl through one of those holes, but then they're not able to get back out, and it chokes them and it can kill them. So please cut those plastic rings before you recycle them or throw them away. And also, animals and birds and creatures, they might not know that trash is not food. And so we don't want you to throw anything into the water that a creature might eat and it might be harmful to them. I was thinking about like if you have some Fritos and you know how the inside of the bag is all shiny. Well, you know those seagulls, they love shiny. And what if they eat that? Well, that would be really bad for them. So make sure that you are always throwing your trash away and that you're not doing anything that could harm an animal, even unintentionally. Adults should be careful in using chemicals like cleaning products, oil, and weed killers. Don't dump oil or other chemicals on the ground. And try to choose natural products to use in your house and yard other than chemicals. Now, if these ideas are new to you, this would be a great time to talk to your family and decide which one of these things your family could do to help take care of our earth and our oceans even better. And then decide what else you want to add to that and work on doing some more of these things as time goes by. Or maybe your family has some special ways that you especially are doing to help preserve the earth and the oceans. I would love to hear about what you do. Maybe your family takes a day to go pick up trash along the road or something else like that, and that's great. So please tell me about that when you come to the library. When you do come to the library next, I would really love it if you would check out a library book about the ocean or about one of the sea creatures like turtles or fish or sharks or whales. That would be really neat. Boys and girls, thank you for watching today, and I hope that you really enjoyed learning about the wonders of the sea. Have a great day, and I'll see you at the library.